everyone's retelling Circe, Medusa, Persephone, but Greek mythology is packed with incredible goddesses whose stories have barely been touched. I'm Heather, an author of Sapphic mythology retellings, and today I wanted to dive into 5 goddesses who deserve their own novels and somehow they keep getting overlooked. Jennifer Saint has a bunch of them. This is Ariadne, she's done Hera, Electra, we've got Troy retellings. Madeline Miller has Circe, Galatea, Song of Achilles, and Persephone keeps getting redone. I've even done one myself, her Daffodil Queen, which is Hades and Persephone through a Welsh mythology mix, because it is something that beautiful wife Leanne loves. So these aren't obscure figures, they're powerful and complex characters that grasp their own stories and are perfect for modern inspiration. So should we get started? Nemesis. Most people think that she's just the revenge goddess, but that's selling her completely short. Nemesis is the divine retribution against hubris. She's managed the balances and nobody's too big for their boots. So these are amazing things. She also is a mother. So she was, in some versions of the mythology, she was Helen of Troy's mother. Think about it for a second. The Trojan Wars that were massive decade-long conflicts that destroyed entire civilizations, and essentially Nemesis as justice in action. Helen wasn't just beautiful, she was a cosmic correction against the humans' arrogance. Modern retellings, it barely touches on this connection of if she's even considered or mentioned of Helen of Troy. We get that Helen was a victim or the villain of the Trojan Wars, but never as a daughter of a divine justice herself. What if Helen knew exactly what she was? What if running to Troy was just part of her mother's own plan? Nemesis represents something fantastic. She's not just evil, she's a necessary balance to the cosmic world. She's the universe's immune system against excessive pride. That is a main badass female character's essence right there. So why haven't we had more about her or had more me imagines? Is it because she's a mum? She's just a footnote in someone else's story. Next, Isis, who gets so disrespected. It's almost criminal. She's reduced to rainbows are pretty, when she's actually the goddess of the primary messenger before Hermes even existed and took that role. So a man took a woman's role and we don't even acknowledge that that was what she was. She had the power to travel anywhere, into the underworld, across the seas, under earth. She could reach every corner of existence in mere seconds. And that's here where I love her. She's competent in every single story. Isis gets that job done. No drama, no betrayal, no cosmic mistakes. She's exceptionally good at her job. The competence makes her interesting for retellings. She's not boring. She's ultimately the insider. She knows everything about everyone because she delivers all the messages. She witnesses every divine scandal, every secret alliance, every move on a chess, but she's disregarded because she's just the messenger. Every moment of weakness that a god or goddess has is witnessed. So what's her story? What does she do beyond the duty of ensuring communication occurs? The sources show her that she's connected to the sea goddess Phallus, and there's a relationship there that was never explored. Isis represents all the competent women whose inner lives go ignored because they're just simply too good at their job. They're just moralized to one person or one thing. Next, we have a contrast, a triple goddess, the goddess of the crossroads, Hecate. She's not just a version you think. Everyone thinks dark, witchy Hecate from the underworld. That's not how it is. Originally, she was a sky goddess with power over the earth, sea, and Zeus was honored her above all other deities and gave her dominion over everything. He was willing to give and share power. So how come the supreme goddess becomes just the scary witch lady hiding in the shadows of the underworld? That transformation is a story that can literally trace back to a powerful deity getting reframed and as a threat over the centuries, shifted and moved. The mother, maiden and crone all in one. Early Hecate wasn't luring at the crossroads. She was making cosmic and divine decisions. She had power to grant, withhold, prosperity, victory, wisdom. She was basically the earliest version of Zeus's authority, but female. A retelling could examine that shift. What happened making her retreat to the shadows? Is it political, personal? Did she choose the darkness or was she forced back into a corner? The original Hecate offers a chance to explore how powerful women get written out of their own stories. Fourth goddess, even Zeus feared. Goddess. Nyx. She's probably the most underused, powerful character in all of mythology. She is the primordial goddess of night. And get this, even Zeus was afraid. No respectful, no caution, just afraid. A primal reaction. There's a story where Zeus wants to punish Hypnos, the god of sleep, for something. Hypnos flees to his mother, Nyx, and Zeus backs away entirely because he doesn't wish to displease swift night, the king of all the gods, backing away from a fight because he's scared of someone else's mother, which is amusing because before we had a goddess who's a mother that gets written out, but this one makes Zeus quake in his boots. Despite this power, Nyx appears almost in no story. She is mentioned as an ancient, feared force, and then basically becomes the footnote for the rest of the story. That's not a fault in the mythology. That's an opportunity to craft primordial darkness and night. What is it doing? Why does Zeus fear her so much? What power does she have its night itself possess? Nyx represents an old order, a power that existed before the Olympians even took over. She's ancient, feminine authority in its purest form. Nyx's retellings could explore how old power meets the new power. Cosmic horror, cosmic wisdom rolled all into one. She's a character that is begging to have a seat at the table. Finally, we have a goddess that has been replaced, even erased. Did you know Zeus had a wife before Hera? Finally, Metis is the most tragic character in all of mythology. She was Zeus's first wife, a goddess of wisdom and cunning and intelligence. The source called her not the one of the wisest, but the wisest. But there was a prophecy that her children would be more powerful than their father. So Zeus, being his arrogant, controlling, manipulative self, swallowed her whole while she was pregnant with Athena. Supposedly she continued giving him advice from inside his head. But that story essentially ends there. She's erased. Certain myths tell of Athena bursting forth and emerging from Zeus's head, having no mother. Think about it. The wisest being existed, literally consumed by the male power, and then her knowledge is credited to Athena, who didn't have a mum. The myths are twisted. What if she was still conscious in there? What if she was being planned for centuries? What if Athena's wisdom wasn't a gift from her father, but Metis's, her mother's revenge? The possibilities are endless because the story is definitely cut too short and she's erased. That doesn't displace Hera. She has her own power, her own rightful place on a throne as the goddess of fertility and marriage. But that doesn't erase that there was a mother, a woman, a wife before her. Metis represents every woman whose intelligence gets absorbed and claimed by men that we see happen over and over again. That's not just mythology, it's tragically still occurring. DNA was identified by two males and a woman, but you never hear about them. So these have been 5 incredible goddesses whose stories are begging to be swept back up into the modern retellings. We've got Nemesis, cosmic balancer, Isis, who's a competent insider, the original Hecate, the supreme goddess who sheltered Nyx, the ancient power that lurks at night. Is that what we're afraid of in the dark? Metis was consumed for wisdom and erased. Each of them has enough mythology foundations to be authentic, but enough gaps in their own stories for creative interpretation. These are not obscure figures. They're important characters who have been overshadowed by more popular stories, more enticing stories. I explain this in the underrepresented mythology in my own considerations of Twisted Garden. I'm really intrigued to see if I can twist and turn these women's stories and blossom them back into the world through Twisted Garden. We did have her Daffodil Queen, Hades and Persephone, but where women are taking back control and power. So subscribe for my Mythology Tuesdays and let me know in the comments which goddesses you might want to see their own retelling. Which one surprised you the most? And are there other overlooked goddesses of other mythologies that you think deserve more attention? And I will read every comment, and your suggestions could be built into the next Mythology Tuesday. So thank you, and next time let's see what other stories we can bring and bloom from the dark.